Hey, I'm Chip Wade, the designer and builder of Pinhoti Peak, a national show house situated on the top of a mountain in North Georgia. Now you can imagine at 3,000 feet of elevation, this house receives a beating from Mother Nature. So we've used some new building materials and processes that you may not have seen before to make sure that this roof and entire building envelope will stand the test of time. Follow me and I'll show you exactly how we did it. Let's start with the building envelope, the outer shell of the house. Its purpose is to keep out the elements and provide moisture and air movement from the outside to the inside. Typical residential construction is wood-based framing and sheathing with a separate house wrap for moisture resistance and a direct fastened siding. Now this combination is quick to install but lacks the long-lasting, impenetrable, no-maintenance approach that we want. On Pinhoti Peak, we went all out, starting with the Georgia Pacific Dense Element moisture and air barrier sheathing for all of the exterior walls. This gypsum-based sheathing, combined with Dense-Defy liquid flashing, is a fire-resistant, weatherproof barrier that gives this residence commercial-grade performance. Instead of relying only on interior insulation, I chose mineral wool insulation from Rockwool, inside and outside the house. That's right. Batt insulation in the interior wall cavities and comfort board rigid exterior insulation outside the sheathing. This provides an extra blanket of protection from the elements, which is especially important in this incredible mountain location. We used specialized fasteners from TrueFast to anchor the exterior insulation firmly to the structure. Next up, I utilized a rain screen system that holds the siding off of the sheathing along with the insulation that provides an air and rain gap to keep moisture off of the house itself. Now, a convection or heat rising channel keeps heat from the sun off the conducting layers inside the wall. Ultimately, it's going to keep the house more comfortable, drier, and incredibly efficient. This rain screen system consists of aluminum channels from Moto extrusions fastened in a grid over the Rockwool insulation. Then these beautiful no paint needed fiber cement panels from Equitone can be suspended. This reduces the amount of heat that conducts through these materials and fasteners and into the structure. With newer applications like this, it's really important to have the right build partners on your team. Now, I brought in Universal Facade Solutions to assist in mapping out the geometric grid layout of the Equitone panels beforehand, and Mountaintop Roofing and Construction to help me get the entire siding package installed the correct way. To give the exterior facade even more interest, I use the new Wave Wall Metal siding from McElroy Metal to match the roof, and the PVC tongue and groove wood grain printed plank from Versatex called Canvas. Again, no maintenance, no painting, only years of great looks. Roofs on most residential structures use a series of angled slopes with ridges and valleys, typically covered with asphalt shingles. This is widely acknowledged as the acceptable building practice, but is far from the most ideal installation. For Pinhoti Peak, you guessed it by this point, I wanted something that would last forever, that requires no maintenance and was easy to navigate and beautiful to look at. To start out, I created a freestanding roof system, meaning the entire roof is supported on steel columns and 2 steel girder lines. Believe it or not, this allows me to have no load-bearing walls in the house at all. This is an added benefit for flexibility now and down the road. Next, I used 40-foot-long glue laminated timber beams from Anthony Forest Products, placed on 5-foot centers across the entire length of this 170-foot structure. To guarantee that the natural wood stays protected, I stained and finished the glue lambs with Permachink's Lifeline Advance and Ultra 2 finishing systems. I then capped them with custom patina copper caps from Sheet Metal Caps. Then I installed structural dovetail steel decking from New Millennium Steel, custom printed with a wood grain instead of using traditional wood tongue and groove. This eliminates any maintenance, like repainting or staining. And you know what else? Bugs, like carpenter bees, will never be a problem. From here we place 9.5 inches of rock wool comfort board insulation for an R value of almost 40, so it stays nice and toasty. Capping the roof sandwich off is a vapor barrier from Vapro Shield, GP Force Field weather barrier sheathing, and a black standing seam metal panel from McElroy. Being on job sites for the past 15 years, I've picked up on the products and the equipment that makes such a huge difference in the final result of the build. The Manitou MRT telehandler was the best tool for the job for setting all those large roof members and just moving around materials in general. On a construction site, holding the gravel stable and in place is always a challenge with heavy equipment and with heavy car travel. The NDS Easy Roll gravel pavers reduce erosion and help maintain the look and functionality of your gravel drive. It's 100% recycled material, and the grid system minimizes the surface water runoff and has a continued piece of geotextile fabric that holds the gravel all in place. Finally, for filling in all the remaining gaps and cracks, AMP Hybrid Sealant from DAP was used as it outperforms traditional silicone in many critical areas. We took a lot of care to ensure the longevity of this show house. Pinhoti Peak is susceptible to some really severe weather elements up here, and we're making sure it will be sustainable with low maintenance for years to come. All that while creating spaces that are both beautiful and timeless. Now, you've heard the phrase, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Well, by teaming up with quality partners, we know the exterior of Pinhoti Peak will be beautiful for years to come.